received this bungalow, 18th April 2005, we received this bungalow from the government of Gujarat for converting it to befitting memorial of Swami Vivekananda. So, and the building is naturally very old. At the time of Swami Vivekananda it was old, now you can imagine. So more than 150 years old building, so it was in a very bad shape. We are trying to repair the building, and in aid of this memorial building, we are trying to collect funds, and as a part of this campaign, we are going to have a special show of Shekhar Sen, the world famous person who does mono act playing with music on Swami Vivekananda. He goes all over the world. Shekhar Sen is from Bombay. He is going to come on 29th March, and we are going to have a big show at Navratna School ground, and of course you can get the details from our ashrama. So we are going to repair the memorial building. This repairing is going on. Then we have started mobile medical unit, library, meditation hall, many value education programs, seminars, and all that is going on. So I thought of taking this opportunity of meeting you all, of inviting you all to this great place, and we have religious discourses going on regularly every Sunday. Just recently we had discourses of Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Brahmashananji, and some of the members attended also. So, and it is all free of cost. You all are welcome. There is no participation, nothing, no fees. Just take the benefit of the programs, ongoing programs. So I wanted to invite you all, and also I wanted to give just a glimpse of the literature, vast literature. We are having a bookshop now. A new bookshop will be opening. Thousands of titles we have published. And such titles that one sentence from one book can change the life of an individual, can save the life of an individual. And there are many instances where reading of one passage of one book has saved the life of a person like Anna Hazare. Anna Hazare, you must have heard about him. What a wonderful work he is doing in Maharashtra, Padma Shri, Padma Vibhushan. But when he was young, he was just sitting on the platform, Delhi railway platform, sitting on a bench, fully disappointed with his life, completely depressed. And then he took out a paper from his pocket, wrote down in that paper, "No one is responsible for my suicide." Put the paper back in his pocket and was waiting for a train to come, and so that he could jump onto the train, onto the rails. He was just waiting for a train. And he was sitting on the bench. Suddenly he remembered his sister was to get married after 4 months. My God, if I commit suicide, this will affect my sister's marriage. And so he thought, no, let me postpone it. He postponed it. And then on the next morning, he went to the bookshop on the railway platform for purchasing a newspaper. There he saw a very inspiring photograph of Swami Vivekananda. So he wanted to have the photograph of Swami Vivekananda. But the bookseller said it is not a photograph, it is a book with the photograph on the front cover. So you have to take the book. I said, I am not interested in the book. Anyway, the photograph is very good, so let me give the book. Since the book has come, he sat down in the bench, started reading the book, and then changed the whole thing. He said, I will never commit suicide. Why? Why he was trying to commit suicide? Because he was in the Indian Army, he was the driver, he was driving the jeep. And there was a war between India and Pakistan. Suddenly, aeroplane descended, and they thought it is Indian plane. It turned out to be Pakistan plane, and it just bombed. And instantly, all the 4 colleagues died on the spot. He was also seriously injured. But when the Pak soldiers, they came to find out whether they are dead or not, he feigned as if he is dead. He stopped his breath. So they thought all are dead. So they went away. Then slowly crawled into the camp. From there immediately he was shifted to the Delhi hospital. He was treated, he was saved. He was saved, but his mind was completely gone. He became frustrated. What is the purpose of life? Just to die? With his own eyes he saw all his colleagues dying. Are we living only for dying? Is this the end of all? Then what is the purpose of life? Why should I? And he was unmarried. He didn't marry. And then He was completely frustrated. So he thought, when there is no meaning of life, let me commit suicide. And when this book came into his hand, he knew what is the purpose of life. There's a beautiful sentence Swami Vivekananda wrote to the Prince of Mysore, who was his disciple. Swami Vivekananda wrote, "My dear Prince, this life is short. The vanities of this world are transient. In this short life, they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." The rest are more dead than alive. We have more dead people in the society today than the live people, living people. Swami Vivekananda said, as long as millions of people are living in ignorance and poverty, I hold every man a traitor. A traitor. Swami Vivekananda never used such a harsh word, but he used the word traitor in this sentence. I hold every man a traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. After all, we are educated, for which the government gives so much of subsidy, and that comes from the taxpayers, and that is being given by all the vendors and all the taxpayers. From that money we have been educated, and we don't do anything for uneducated and poor masses. We are traitors. So Swami Vivekananda said, these are all dead people, and that is why now what we want is to awaken these dead people. How to awaken? The only thing we think is, the only alternative, how to awaken them? Give them electric shock. And that electric shock will come from the books of Swami Vivekananda. And these are not my words. When I met Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on 22nd August, this was my 9th meeting at Rashtrapati Bhavan. He had come to Porbandar twice earlier, once before becoming president and second after becoming president. And we have a lot of interaction with him. He loves us and he loves Vivekananda. So anyway, I don't go into the details. Afterwards I can tell you the details of his interaction with me. But when I met him at that time, I gifted him my book, Teacher the Torchbearer of Change. So he was just going on for he became so much interested. 2 books I gave, Happiness and Peace in Everyday Life and Teacher the Torchbearer of Change. So he started reading the books then and there while talking with me. And he was turning the pages trying to find out the topic. One topic is electric shock needed. What is this electric shock, Swamiji? I said, these are not my words. These are the words of French savant Romain Rolland, the Nobel Prize winner writer. Once upon a time, Rabindranath Tagore told him, if you want to know India, study Vivekananda. In him, everything positive, nothing negative. So he started reading the books of Swami and he became very much inspired. Then he wrote the biography of Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna, his guru. And he wrote it in 1934. Mind you, 1932. And mind you, Swami Vivekananda left his mortal body on 4 July 1902 at the age of 39 years. Because he had already told Professor, I will not live to see 40, and exactly before 40, at the age of 39 years, he left his body. So after 30 years of his passing away, Romain Rolland wrote this book. And about the words of Swami Vivekananda, Romain Rolland says, his words are great music, phrases in the style of Beethoven. I cannot touch these sayings of his, scattered as they are through the pages at a 30th distance, without receiving a thrill through my body like an electric shock. So that electrifying message of Swami Vivekananda, that is available in the books. And so we are going to have a new bookshop at the railway platform also, at our ashram also, just by the side of the road. So more and more people can take benefit. And we are going to have a mobile value education van which will go from village to village with the literature and giving them, and with an audiovisual aid, because all are not literate there in the villages. So showing them good films on value education and giving them the message of Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna and all the great people of the Indian spiritual culture. That is what we are doing. So I thought of taking this opportunity of introducing you So we have also brought some books. Just a glimpse you can get here. But there are so many books available at a little distance there in our ashrama. Please visit us. Please visit the meditation hall. Beautiful vibrations. Swami Vivekananda himself stayed there. And so there are vibrations. Anybody coming there, maybe he or she feels splendid peace of mind. And those vibrations are there. So all of you are welcome there. And I have been told to speak about the spiritual dimensions of life, but I heard that already you had a very, very heavy dose right from morning, but very nice talks that you had, and it is at the fag end of the day, your mind must be tired, so I don't want to text you much, just one or two talks, one or two things. That is, what you need is now digestion. Digestive pills you need, when you have got a lot of food. When you take physical food, you take digestive pills, and a lot of mental food you have taken. For that also you take digestive pills. So, what you need is digestion. Swami Vivekananda said, we have kept this sentence on the staircase below the photograph of Swami. To be happy and smiling always takes you nearer to God than any prayer in this world. This is spirituality. How do you know that somebody is becoming spiritual? Are you becoming cheerful? Are you becoming happier? Are you feeling more happy and more peaceful? Then you are spiritual. Then Swami Vivekananda said, long faces do not make religion. Long faces do not make spirituality. Normally our concept is a spiritual person would be so serious, very difficult to talk to him. In fact, that is a normal thing, and in Western countries much more so. So, when Swami Vivekananda went to America, whenever he would talk, he would be very serious. But after the lectures, he would enjoy, he will have fun, he will have an ice cream party. He used to love ice cream, so he will have ice cream party. Then they would all enjoy, and then he would laugh loudly. So, these American disciples, they were much astonished, because their concept of religion was, in fact, the religious preachers there, they are very serious, long faces. So, they were very much amazed. Here is a religious preacher laughing loudly like an ordinary man. So once a Western lady disciple could not contain herself. She said, Swami, you ought to be a little serious. You are a religious preacher. Swami Vivekananda immediately replied, yes, madam, I too become serious when I got stomachache. It is not that I always laugh like this. I also become serious, but when I got stomachache. Without stomachache, you become serious? What is the matter? When you got stomachache, you have got pain. Okay, I can understand. But otherwise also, so many people you will find, they are wearing a mask, a face, as if they have drunk some kerosene. કે છે ને ગુજરાતીમાં દિવેલ પીધા જેવું મોઢું. દિવેલ પીધા જેવું મોઢું લાગે. Swami Vivekananda said, આ દિવેલ પીધા જેવું મોઢું હોય ને, Swami Vivekananda says, when you are wearing this mask of this melancholy, despondency, and when your face is a clouded face, don't go out of your room. Shut up yourself in the room. You don't have any right to spread this great disease called melancholy to the other world. It is a very infectious disease. If there are 10 people who are melancholy, who are depressed, if you sit down with them, after half an hour you also feel, yes, there is nothing in the world, let us die. You also will start feeling like that. It's a very infectious disease. You go to a particular place, full of vibration, joyful atmosphere, peaceful atmosphere, you feel so peaceful. And the people are peaceful, joyful, you also feel joy. And when you are in the company of such persons who are all depressed and melancholy, you also feel melancholy. You also feel, yes, દુનિયામાં બધું શું થવા બેઠું છે, ચાલો આપણે મરી જ જઈએ, આમાં કઈ જીવા જેવું છે જ નહીં. Let us die. This is what happens. It is infectious disease. So Swami Vivekananda said, you do not have the right to spread this great disease called melancholy to the other people. Shut yourself down. So that is the spirituality. To be happy and smiling always takes you nearer to God than any prayer in this world. How this will come? It has to come from within. Smile has to come from within. Just by trying to smile, you cannot smile. It will be air hostess smile. Sometimes I feel so pity on her, the air hostess, pity on them. They are trying to smile, but they are not able to smile. And yet they are trying to smile because they are paid for that. How much smile they can give whole day, morning from evening. So many passengers are coming and they want to smile. Smile comes when you love a particular person. Smile comes when you are happy. Smile comes from within. That will be a real smile. Otherwise it will be an artificial smile. Real smile will come from within. How it will come? When you have love within your heart. How it will come? When you got happiness within your heart. How it will come? When you got peace within your heart. So happiness and peace is a prerequisite for bringing out that smile. So, I don't have much to say, but these 3 books you must read. Way to Attain Bliss in Old Age. This will be outside. Happiness and Peace in Everyday Life, written by me. In fact, I wanted to give a gift, but then I thought that anything that comes free may not be that much value. So, one small book I have given. Because to rule out any possibility that some people may feel that what is the point in going all the way to the ashram, So that is at least one book should go. Maybe today or tomorrow. Even if it has come free, let us have a glance at it. You may go through it. So one small book I have given as an incentive scheme, that is great sayings. But it contains the very, very powerful and inspiring message from the very big books called the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, or the sayings of Ramakrishna, then the teachings of Sarada Devi, few teachings, and there are complete works of Swami Vivekananda. All the yogas, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, Gyan Yoga, and all his lectures, all these poems, all have been compiled into complete works of Swami Vivekananda, 9 volumes. From these 9 volumes, we have selected a few inspiring sentences. So what you get in this great saying is a small gamut. So this is just to inspire you for this. So happiness and peace in everyday life, being my talk at AMA, way to attain bliss in old age. And there is an immortal book, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. There is a history behind it. Mahendra Gupta M was the headmaster in Research in the Vidyasagar school in Calcutta. He had a quarrel in his house, so much so, the quarrel went to such an extent that one fine night he left with all whatever belonging he had with his wife and children. He left the house. He doesn't know where to go. They all were in a horse carriage, they were going. But suddenly the horse carriage, one wheel came out at night. So dead of night, where to go? There was an accident. So nearby there was the house of his sister. So they took shelter in the house of his sister. Now next day morning, the nephew told the Mahendra Gupta, Mama, why don't we go to a beautiful temple called Dakshineshwar? Rani Rasmani has built this temple. Let us go there. He said, I am not interested in any temple and I have lost all my faith in God. Enough of that. This God is useless. He has made this life my miserable. No, nothing to do with God. So then his nephew said, but Mama, there is a beautiful garden just near the Ganges in that temple. Okay, let us go for the garden. So he came for the garden to take some fresh air. And while he had come to the garden, he saw a small room near the garden. What is that room? There the Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa lives. So he said, I am not interested in discourse or lecture. So he just peeped in from the door. What is all going about? He saw Sri Ramakrishna sitting on his cot. There are 2 cots in that room. One is a bigger cot in which Sri Ramakrishna used to sleep, and one is a smaller cot on which Sri Ramakrishna used to sit and talk. Those 2 cots are still there. If you go to Calcutta, please visit Dakshineshwar. Same cots are there. Same cots. So Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small cot talking to the devotees, and he just peeped in and heard 5 sentences. My God, he felt as if Sukadeva is expounding Bhagavata, and he felt so much at peace and he came inside. and sat down in their corner. And for half an hour, he was transported in another world. All his grief was gone. All his agony was gone. So much of peace of mind. He said, what? I started for suicide and I got my Guru here. And he got so much joy and peace that when he was taking leave, Sri Ramakrishna said, just ask one or two sentences, who is he and all that. And then he said, please come again. Whole night he could not sleep. Sri Ramakrishna has told me, come again. So next day itself he went. And next day again he sat down. Again he read. And this went on. He went on going. And whenever, but he had a habit of keeping the diary. So, immediately after the discussions, he used to write down in his diary whatever Sri Ramakrishna taught. One day by chance, Swami Vivekananda saw the diary. And he said, what? Very wonderful sentences, wonderful message. You publish it in the form of a book. No, it is my private diary. I will not allow it. No, it will do a lot of good to humanity. You must publish it. At the instance of Swami Vivekananda, Mahenad Gupta M published this diary, first in Bengali. Ramakrishna Kathamrit was the name. It got translated into Gujarati, Ramakrishna Kathamrit. Then it got translated to Hindi. Suryakant Tripathi Niralaji made it Ramakrishna Vachanamrit. Every Sunday we have discourses on Ramakrishna Vachanamrit, same book, in our ashrama here. Then, and many of our centers, then Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Uriya, all the languages. Then it was translated to English, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the name, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the abridged edition. There is a big edition also. Then Spanish, German, Greek, Russian, Japanese, Dutch. So many languages of the world is been translated. Millions of copies have been sold. It created a world record. When the copyright restrictions were removed in 1983, at that time, the Week magazine coming up from South India, brought out a special issue in which on the front page there were two photographs. One was the photograph of Karl Marx and one was the photograph of Sri Ramakrishna. And the heading was, Sri Ramakrishna outsells Karl Marx. And then inside story it was told that the sale of this one book, only one book of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Because when the copyright restrictions were removed, so far it was being published by only one publisher. That is the family members of Mahenad Gupta. But when the restrictions went, so one publisher said, I'll publish these 5 volumes of Kathamrita into 2 volumes and give you, instead of 70 rupees, I'll give you 60 rupees. The other said, I will give you 50 rupees. Other one said, I'll make it into 1 volume and give you at 30 rupees. Then another publisher said, 25 rupees. It came to 18 rupees. Big volume, 18 rupees, provided you give the price in advance. Pre-publication price. 18 rupees. 16 publishers entered into the fray, and on one single day, on that day when the Gospel came out, there was stampede in Calcutta for getting that book, one book. And the article said that the sale of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, only one book, within 45 days was 45 lakhs of rupees, which surpassed the sale of 3 years of the total Marxist literature in the whole of West Bengal. And so said, Sri Ramakrishna outsells Karl Marx. And then last page it was written, last sentence was beautiful. It is a paradox how under the red flag the religious books are thriving. In Bengal there is a red flag, communist government, and for communist religion is the opium of life. So how under the red flag the religious books are thriving? It is perhaps the people in West Bengal like to have Jyoti Basu, at that time Jyoti Basu was the chief, like to have Jyoti Basu rule in the writers' building, but they want inside their heart Ramakrishna to rule. Sri Ram, Sri Krishna and Sri Ramakrishna to rule. Inside their heart they want Krishna and Ramakrishna to rule. This is what has come. It created a sensation and the world record. One copy. Today millions of people are deriving inspiration, deriving joy, deriving new life, deriving peace of mind. Every day. It's a tradition. Every monk, every devotee of Sri Ramakrishna always will carry one Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna with him. Every day, at least in 5 minutes. And absolutely peace. And everything very practical. The whole message of Vedas comes, the gist comes in Upanishads. And the whole gist of Upanishads you get in Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavad Gita, very difficult to understand, particularly in the modern context. But the same message of Bhagavad Gita, the same essence of not only all the Vedas, but the essence of Bible, essence of Quran, essence of all the religious texts of the whole world, you get in one small book, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, with so many fascinating stories, full of anecdotes, full of joy, full of humor, and full of very interesting stories. You get this book. So many people have made it a habit. So what I would say, what is after all spirituality? Spirituality comes from the word spirit. Spirit is different from our body. Who am I? Have you ever thought, who am I? Just think about it during meditation. Think, who am I? Am I this body? Sometimes you say, my body is not working well, or my body is paining. That means I am not the body. That means I am the master of the body, I am not the body. But sometimes you say, today my intellect is not working. That means I am not the intellect. Then sometimes say, today my mood is not okay. That means I am not the mood and I am not the mind. I am somebody else. Then sometimes you say, today my heart is aching. That means I am not the heart. Then who am I? Who am I? Behind all these phenomena, there is a center of consciousness which is called Atman. According to Upanishads, Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudo atmana prakashate drishyate tagraya buddhya shukshmaya shukshmadarsibi. Inside each and every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, national spirituality, nationality, behind that there is a center of consciousness inside everybody. And what is the proof? It is not visible. Then what is the proof? Proof is some people have realized it. Narendra Datta, he was a college student who later on became Swami Vivekananda. A college student, he lost all his faith in religion because he was educated in Lord Macaulay's College of Education, which still we are continuing. So he had read Kant, Hegel, Spencer, John Stuart Mill, all the Western philosophers. He lost all his faith in religion. He said, I don't believe in religion. What is this? We are talking about God. Who has seen it, God? And then he would challenge any saint coming to Calcutta. He would go and meet and have discussions and have arguments. You are talking too much about God. What is the proof? Have you seen God? Nobody would give answer. But he wanted to realize the truth. He was very sincere. Went to Maharishi Devanath Tagore. Maharishi Devanath Tagore was the father of Rabindranath Tagore. And he used to meditate for a long time in a cabin of a boat. So he went to the cabin in a boat. Swami Vivekananda went there. Narendranath went there. And he said, Maharishi, I want to ask you a question. Yes, you can ask. Now, you are meditating on God too much. I am very happy to know, but I want to ask you one question. Have you seen God? Maharishi Devanath Tagore looked at him for some time and he said, my dear boy, your eyes are beautiful, those of a yogi. Narendranath became very much disappointed. I am asking the question, have you seen God? He says, my eyes are beautiful. I don't mind appreciation. I want the answer of my question. He became very much frustrated. But when once he had gone to the college, that day the professor who was used to teach English literature was absent. So the principal, Professor William Hastie himself came to take the class. Scottish Church College, he was the principal. He came to take the class on English literature. He was teaching them the poem Excursion, written by Wordsworth. There the description comes how the poet goes into a trance, into a superconscious state, in samadhi state, by seeing the nature's beauty. And the students asked, sir, is it possible that somebody can go to a superconscious state, a samadhi state? The principal said, yes, it is possible. I have seen one man who enters into this state of samadhi very frequently. And if you want, you can also see that person, because that person lives in Calcutta only. There is a saint called Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa who lives by the side of the Ganges in Dakshineshwar temple, Kali temple. And immediately Swami Vivekananda took that opportunity, went there to Dakshineshwar, entered the room. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on his small cot, talking to the devotees, sat down on a corner. After some time he said, now enough of these talks of God. Now answer my question. Have you seen God? And for the first time he replied, the satisfied reply, yes, my boy, I have seen God. Not only that, he said, I am seeing Him more intensely then I am seeing you. Not only that, he said, and you also can see him, but you will have to perform spiritual practices. This is the science of religion. Science says H2 plus O2 is equal to H2. I don't believe. Hydrogen is a gas. Oxygen is a gas. How can it water? It is not a question of belief. Come to the laboratory, have hydrolytic process, mix hydrogen, oxygen, and when you don't get water, then you say it is not possible to get water by mixing hydrogen, oxygen. Similarly, Sri Ramakrishna, I have seen God. You also can see Him, but you have to come to the laboratory and perform spiritual practices. Narendranath accepted the challenge, and he himself had a first-hand experience of that ultimate reality at Kashipur garden. He entered into Nirvikal Samadhi. That is why in Chicago Parliament Religions in 1893, he could declare from his own experience the sentence of Shveta Shvetaro Prishad, Shurvantu Vishve Abitasya Putra Ae Dhamani Divyani Tastu Veda Hametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Paratat Tameva Viditwati Nrityameti Dhamya Pantha Vidyatayana. I have seen the ancient one who is beyond all miseries. By knowing him alone, you shall be free from all miseries. That is spirituality. Finding out the spiritual consciousness. So Swami Vivekananda gives the gist of whole of spirituality. How to develop SQ. As you know, that is the latest discovery. IQ is very important, intelligence quotient. EQ is also very important, emotional quotient. That was discovered by Daniel Goleman in 1991. And now the latest discovery is SQ, spiritual intelligence. Dana Zohar, she has written a book. The name of the book is SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, where she says neurologically, physiologically, biologically, psychologically, from every point of view there is a concluding evidence. There is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. What is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And what is SQ? Well, SQ will tell you whether to play the game of life at all or not. Well, that is your choice. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? Why I am here? That is what SQ will tell you. There is a Zen story. A horse was galloping at full speed and somebody asked the person, where are you going? He said, ask the horse. Because I am not taking the horse, horse is taking me. We are not leading the life, life is leading us. We don't know the purpose of life. Why are we born? Where do we go after death? What is the ultimate destination of human life? Why we have come to this world? What is the mission for which we are born? We don't know. We are just going like flock of sheep, going and eating and enjoying and club, this, that, everything. As usual. But what is the purpose? Where do we want to go? That is SQ. And how to develop. And then another discovery of modern science is IQ is available with all the species including the computers. EQ is available only with a few species. But SQ is available only with the human species. Our old scriptures say, out of 84 lakhs of species, only human beings can have spiritual knowledge. And now the modern science says, no, not 84 lakhs of species, there are 125 lakhs of species. Well, not much different. Thousands of years back they said 84 lakhs. Now after so much of cloning and so much of discovery and microscope also, they have told 125 lakhs, not much different. Coming very close. Out of 125 lakhs of species, but they also say, out of 125 lakhs of species, only human beings can have SQ, spiritual intelligence. What a wonderful thing. We are all human beings. What a wonderful thing. And yet, we have not discovered the special purpose for which we have come. We are all doing what others are doing. The four things are common between man and animal. What is that? Ahar, Nidra, Bhaya, Metunancha, Samana, Metat, Pashubi, Dharanam, Dharmo, Hitesham, Adhipo, Vishesha, Dharmena, Hina, Pashubi, Samana. But we are doing exactly the same thing. What type of food we should have? What type of food we should have? Most of the time we are busy with that. Which food to take, what type of food to take, number one. Second, Nidra, Ahar. And Ahar takes care of our living also. Ahar, Roti Kapda Makan. We are all bothered about how to make a good house, make a building, good dresses, good food, all sensual enjoyment. Ahar, Nidra, sleeping, taking tranquilizers. If not sleep, doesn't come. Then, Bhaya, we are all afraid. Naitanancha, producing children, procreation, and sensual joy. This is all. But there is a special thing, spiritual joy. The spiritual joy we have not discovered. that spiritual joy, once it comes, then this joy is inferior. And that joy is the purpose of life. To get that eternal happiness, infinite happiness, unlimited peace, Satchit Ananda, which is our true nature, that is the purpose of life. Infinite life, eternal life. To conquer that, that is the purpose for life for which we are taught. Until that we will not know. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yovidadhati Kamam Tam Atmatsam Yenu Pashyanti Dhira Tesham Shanti Shastati Netaresham. Inside each and every human being, that is the supreme consciousness, and that is inside everyone. And by knowing alone that consciousness, that eternal Paramatman, you shall be free from all miseries, get infinite happiness, infinite joy, infinite bliss. But how to get it? Swami Vivekananda gives the gist of whole of spirituality in his book on Raj Yoga in one sentence. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature external and internal. Do this either by worship, psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Dogmas, rituals, worships, temples, churches, mosques are but secondary details. So this is the gist of that you must differentiate between religion and spirituality. Going to temples, churches, mosques and fasting, this may be good, but that is not spirituality. One may be religious, not yet spiritual. One may be spiritual, not religious. Doesn't matter. Main thing is manifesting the divine within. How? By 4 yogas. Now these 4 yogas are very complicated. I want to make it very, very simple for you. What is Gyan Yoga? Shravan Mana Nididhyasana. Aham Brahmasmi. No. For you I am making very simple. Just reading for half an hour morning and half an hour at night some book which will give you SQ. That is, which will relate you with the very purpose of life. It may be Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vedas, Upanishads, the book Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, or the Yogas of Swami Vivekananda, or any other good book which gives you what is the purpose of life. That is, reading these books is called Gyan Yoga. That itself will make you think what is the purpose of life. So, Gyan Yoga means reading the book half an hour, minimum morning and evening, if not at least some 5 minutes. Second, Bhakti Yoga, love of God. Just repeating the mantra, whatever mantra you like, repeating the mantra of the God whom you like or whom you love, and worshipping God externally or internally, or just prayer, simple prayer. Oh Lord, I love you. Oh Lord, I don't love you, I want to love you. Oh Lord, I don't have faith. Please have faith. Let me have faith in you. Likewise, prayer. These are all Bhakti Yoga. Third, and there are all these yogas. Books on yoga, the Bhakti Yoga books of Raj Yoga are all available. Raj Yoga is Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. Yama is 5, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Ahimsa, and Niyam is 5, Saut, Santosh, Tap, Swata, Ishwar, Pranidhan. But to make it very simple for you, meditation. Just meditation morning and evening. And how to meditate? There is a beautiful book by Swami Vivekananda. Meditation is methods. In small book he has given all. What are the various types of meditation? How we start meditation? In fact, we have meditation classes, we have meditation room also. You can go for details there also. First start with the reading of the book by Swami Vivekananda. Meditation is methods. So this is Raj Yoga. And fourth is Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is doing every work with the spirit of worship, converting work into worship. How can it be done? By sandwich sadhana. What is sandwich sadhana? Our mothers, they know how to do sandwich, how to prepare a sandwich. So they take one piece of bread and then afterwards they take masala. It may be butter, it may be cheese, it may be cucumber, it may be some salad, put it on that. And then they take another piece of bread and put over it, and that is one sandwich is ready. Similarly, start morning. Oh Lord, today whole day whatever work I will be doing is all dedicated unto you, and the fruits also dedicated to you. That is one piece of bread. And whole day go on masala of work. At night, oh Lord, whatever I have done, good or bad, well, I could not avoid bad. From tomorrow I will do less bad. But anyway, whatever good or bad I have done, oh Lord, dedicated unto you, and fruits also dedicated to you. Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. Another piece of bread. One sandwich is ready. And then sometimes you can make small sandwich also. So sandwich sadhana will convert work into worship. Unselfish service. As I told you, those who can, at least if you can't do anything, at least Swami Vivekananda says, at long last you will understand that the best way to become happy is to see that others are happy, and the best way to give peace of mind is to pray for others' peace of mind. What a beautiful prayer we have got. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukhma bhuyat. Let all be happy, let all be healthy, let all attain good, let none become miserable. Let us have prayer. Swami Vivekananda said, at least you pray every day. Sincerely, you will find peace coming into you. You will first yourself get happiness and peace by praying for others' peace, and at least that much you can do. You may be sick, you may be old, you may be not able to do work, going to the front, going to social service and all that. At least you can pray for others. Even that will give you peace of mind. But don't put a bracket there. Sometimes they say, oh Lord, let all be happy, minus my daughter-in-law. Oh Lord, let all be happy, minus my son. Oh Lord, let all be happy, minus my boss. No bracket. Don't put a bracket there. At the time of prayer, let all be happy. Let all be cheerful. So, I am very happy to have met you. Already I have taken a lot of time. And I got another lecture from morning. You are sitting here. I have also got another lecture with the gynecological conference, another Hotel Surya Palace. There is another seminar I have got. I have to rush there, but I was very happy to meet you. I didn't want to lose this opportunity, and